Hi guys, and welcome to the Rainbow Six Replays YouTube channel. Today, we want to present the video highlights of the match between RazaH Company and Virtus.pro during the Six Invitational 2025. Want to remind that you have opportunity to support the channel on the Patreon page. Find the link in the description or in the comments. Enjoy.
5 RazaH players here are stacked over towards admin or underneath. The hunt begins. Actually misses the first player. The pings come together. The bulletproof will reveal everything. Still destruction, but I mean, it's this big divide you've got across. Pasha pops out and gets STK. And now this might be the start of the end. They lose any width that they had towards this hold. They're still bouncing around the Shumika launcher, and at this point, RazaH, they just might have needed to give themselves an option B other than one player underneath. Pasha gets a second. Perez gets down the shield, tries to scream their way through, but again, it's all being called. They know exactly what the Monty is planning. Pulls himself back round, 20 seconds, sprayed either side, surviving most importantly, and there's the support from Shepard as well, just trying to thread the needle. Flastery does find Pasha, finally puts him down, but 10 seconds, and they still need to try and stick the kit. Basetto, he's going deep. Perez does get a kill on towards the opposite end. There's a bit of a play. They don't know where the planter is. There's the cover being attempted. They can't quite get it locked in somehow. Some way they found the plant joystick. A step too late, but they know they can try and isolate this first fight. It's an easy pickup, Perez, and there's Flastery. Credit to RazaH. They didn't have a look.
I'll have to wait and find out. The drones gathering the information to see where they can go for a bit of a push, but Pasha caught off on the rotate. The entry kill going to Flastery here. They'll be acting like someone might be there, even though it's not.
There's the breach on towards the hatch, but 20 seconds, similar place, and, well, Flastery's able to get himself a second. Joystick's gone. Always does trade out Flastery. They're going for the aggressive retake above. They know that they can put the pressure onto the vertical, and it's a very, very slim fight here, but they win it out. They have the cover. They're going for the plant. The C4 is loose, and it doesn't quite get the connection, spraying into a smoke that they have long since left, and but there is Shepard! Eternally clutching is the fate.
Entry through, but they still need to try and take the fight. They're trying to send some rounds back through as they're actually pushing deep now. The plant will be attempted here by Basetto. I don't think anybody has an angle where they can actually try and counter it. They try to shoot the feed out, but it's way too late. The fuser's gone down. Basetto will go down right afterwards as well, but post-plant situation.
Now, how can they try and utilize this space back? Because they still have the vertical. Technically, they also have some of the control here onto yellow, so if you can find a way to just slip your way in down the hatch and lock it off, there might be a bit of this cover. It's the deep angle on benches that's the worry. There's SDK caught out. And at this point now, there's not a huge amount of time to go for the counter defuse, but they've gone for the fight on towards vertical. There's the retake, and Flastery performing better and better. The cover of Live and Virtus.pro. The rotation background to try and get revenge. Well predicted by RazaH, and we are trading round.
But they've blocked off the door, so, you know, they're going to lose a bit of time here trying to actually get that push to come into fruition. And as the smokes come through, so is the blitz from Basetto. Will find himself at least one kill. Actually, no, it was Flastery that came in. He's finding both of them.
I mean, Flastery is having an absolute barn burner here. Screaming his way across, 7-1. And he looks like he's sort of thirsting for more. Perez gets one, caught on the hop over. There's Shepard doing his best, but Perez in the picked up position gets the response. Oh, joystick. You are probably looking at quite a quick map.
No, for sure. And you know, RazaH is also going to be aware of this, and they're going to be able to live with this momentum. Perez, though, will be the first one to fall. It is the Deimos tracked joystick who's able to find that kill. But they're aware of where he is. Pasha, though, coming in with the secure, finding another kill as well. Suddenly, Virtus.pro flying at the start of this round, but kind of locked off, trying to rotate out. Pasha will find another one before he gets shut down. A 2v4, I mean, that's a trade they'll be willing to take any day, any game, any round. Leaving only Flastery and Basetto up. This round definitely seeming like it would go towards the Virtus.pro side, but everything is possible. Still a player around on the window repel. Basetto will find the kill now, and you kind of want to force Basetto to move in first. You have the opportunity to deal with him just as himself. As the last smoke canister is now being used, that means there's going to be 15 seconds of play where they can be together, but he takes the fight alone, and now it's only up to Flastery here. This is exactly what Virtus.pro wanted. They were using the smoke to isolate the player, and as a result, they find themselves with their second round as well.
3-2, and the best round.
Importantly, you've just taken care of a very important position. The player that was right behind the soda machines is no longer there. It's a difficult position to clear, especially if you look at the utility. The Perez being shut down by always rotating up the spiral stairs. This means that Virtus.pro is trying to retake that top floor a little bit more aggressively. They know what's going on. They're trying to take a hold of it. And if you look at VP's positioning right now, they're basically all over the place. But Pasha and Always both die at the very same time again by Flashtree.
Flashtree is just absolutely running the show here on Consulate, and the split there, he didn't actually fire it. I was so excited for the possibility of a player going for a big loop around. He didn't do it. But, well, as Dan gets Pasetto, he might have wished that they had done something. That was inside the site. There's Flashtree getting joystick. That was the crossfire, holding onto this position. So now at this point, Shepard is stuck in a box. Blinded. The flash hits Flashtree as well. And it's wasting precious time. There's the second, swings it in and they execute. But 20 seconds left. Flashtree with the chance at an ace here, and I said he was running the show. Now he's got to run the round. Live goes down. 15 seconds up against one of the most storied players, but Dan.
Security here on the side of RazaH. Still, they're lined up. They're looking to maybe go for a jump in from the window. Flashtree will go down as a result from the connector window, bringing it back to a 4-on-4. They have the E1D. They have Perez now injured. There's a blitz inside of the connector area as well. He has the opportunity to be very much an oppressive factor in this round as Shepard tries to get in for the plan, but the injure almost coming in from below.
The clear, or if they're confident in the work of Joystick, who is very much stuck here, I mean, what else could they do? They just sort of found themselves sat, waiting. There was not a support structure for Joystick. He was just trapped. Now as SDK gets Shepard outside as he went to try and find his way inside, Virtus.pro just stalled out. SDK drifts on, goes for his fourth, and he finds it. Virtus.pro, where the last time 3 of them played on the stage, 2 was at Jönköping. One of them was at Berlin.
That's long times ago.
I mean, at least on a position, but he's able to find his way out of there. And the C4 on towards the Deimos gets them! Great communication and coordination there from RazaH. The support structure was in play, and once again, they're able to just flip that body balance into their favor.
Very important kill to come through. It's a trait, though. Always. We'll find Perez.
Rotate his way around to seeding. They have a full awareness. But 20 seconds, he can just leave. All he's done here is draw the vertical player away. It's the 2 versus 2 on the plant. Pasha does find Live. So that's the rotation game. Secured. There's Shepard getting Flashtree on the back. It leaves just Pasetto. Called, pressured, and a C4 that caught nobody. Pasha gets us still trading rounds.
Important kills to come through. And
sort of late approaches here. They're worried about going for the entire cover onto the door itself. There's the bandit boxes that will get removed so they can get themselves this wall open. But you know that they're going to try and lurk their way back up. Is he about to find this fight? Well, he didn't really fully expect it. There's Live with 2. I think he gets someone through the soft, or was it just a swing round onto the bottom spiral? Either way, that's another body taken out on the back of that fight. They lose those 2 players on the track. And now, VP trying to pick up the pieces. The roll of the ROU doesn't even go through the floor properly. The wheels are sort of falling off, but Pasha drives on, takes the head. There's Live getting his 3rd. They have the vertical control. They have another body dropped. And as we keep trading rounds, we are not done with that yet. I need to see that Live refusing to die. STK on secret. Waiting for the Johnson and the Pressure to spray through, and there's the go, but they were more than ready always. I think he maybe baited with the flash.
They've been doing quite well on like wasting time here and there. I mean, you saw in like one of the previous rounds. Constant tracking to come through. Dan, beautiful headshot onto Perez as Virtus.pro's looking to trade back the rounds yet once more. Push themselves to 5-5 as Dan finds yet another
finish once this fight has gone through.
Someone behind him right there. Just saw that they were repelling in, but said it will go down though. Flashtree, the last man standing.
1 versus 5, and it's right in the middle of the mix. There's one gone. They've been able to pick themselves up. They're going for the plant. They should be able to get this one secured. They're prepping themselves for the run on the opposite side as well, and they scatter. Every route, every run is watched, but Flastry gets himself his second, and look at that, they just go further back. Fear and respect, I think, at this point. They don't want to give him any opportunities because he's just been so good this map, but at this point, even this player, I don't think can
long arm this.
try and cement themselves over. 16 seconds, and the desk shuts him out. 5-5.
They all pull back to jump down, and it is going to be the Fenrir Mine that pops up, takes the fight, loses it to Perez. So RazaH find themselves with a very important kill here in this round 11.
Now, as I said, the Pulse just feeding all of that over towards the approach. Almost a bit of slipped timing there as they start throwing the flashes out, start getting themselves bit more aware onto it, and it's actually only the 4th time the opening kill has gone into the favor of RazaH throughout this entire game so far. So statistically, it's something where Virtus.pro haven't really been able to get the conversion anyway. Can it be something that works for them? Suddenly, no. 2 quick kills, lives gone. It's back and forth though, a 2 versus 3 because it's 2 almost immediately right back. A 3 versus 2 situation. Trades came instantly out. And now it leaves the chance at the plant. Oh, that is so close. Flastry is entirely caught out, though. And the Shepherd locks it in. Apparently, opening KD doesn't seem to be that driving statistic. The teller's side finds STK alone. I said he was due, trying to get a few more kills. It's his round and his time, but oh, somehow got that. I thought that was the end of the round. 2 more to get. The vertical, they just need to pull themselves further back. I mean, look at this hold. He's going to have to come right into the middle of it. They can play on contact. Initially, they don't, but with 14 seconds, they're just running in circles at this point. They know they can get the round locked. Will they go for the full, removal and the drop, but they don't know about Basetto. He's about to find another fight on the window. He's well prepared for it. Perez finds always. Oh, and I said it had the scent of an OT on it.
It's definitely starting to look like it here. Flastry waiting, but he got baited by the drone. Shut down by Shepherd. Back to a 4-on-3 now. Still in favor of RazaH. They're still in a good position to push this towards SCARZ.
Well, that C4, we heard it for a split second. And so did Dan, but unfortunately nowhere near enough time for him to move out. There is obviously Pasha stepping in on that position, but between a Glaz and an Ace, what can they achieve here, especially without any smokes left? This is just going to have to be the awareness that plays against them, but as it's fully read, Basetto, just sort of says, here's free lunch. We'll call all of this motion. In the meantime, they've hopped in. There's the fight against the Pulse, and a triple kill round for Basetto. They know where the last player is. They get 1. They don't get a second. And we are in OT.
Again on the first map, and the map is RazaH Company. Waste as much time as he possibly can, and that's basically been his role over the majority of this map. He might not have been able to find a kill, but he's definitely been able to find a time. Dando finds live. He's one of those big clutch players that RazaH has been utilizing today. Flashtree about to go down as well. I believe he might have been shot through the drone hole at least a little bit as he was rotating around. Finds himself about 10 HP right now. With 40 seconds left, it's definitely starting to get some pressure right now. Perez finds 1 before the trade comes in from Shepherd. A 4-on-3. Virtus.pro looking to put themselves on map point here.
The second silence falls as they need to reevaluate the position, but they get given Flastry. Goes a little bit too wide. Shepherd gets 1 on the back, and SDK, all that's left, opting to drop for the fight. They're in the cover of the smoke. He wants the angle, and he wants actually benches. The wall pops open. There's a surprise moment, but he doesn't get anything from it. They know.
What? They don't
know. Twice! Twice he has had a great opportunity to cement kills.
The diffuser's
That's
down!
the kick cold. They've got to get it picked up, and they do, but can he fight and find his way out? No! Player away, but it also works, obviously, as a deterrent of, oh, I'm being tracked. I've got to get out of there. Basetto, huge amount of damage taken here as the Monty shuffles their way in. They're being zapped and down. They overstayed their welcome, and that was the Deimos underneath. Now, a 5 versus 4. The plant was not confirmed. They peeled themselves away from the smoke, and they're going to see if they can try and make use of the time that they have. But 40 seconds, the smoke now being forced further and further away. You can see Perez again on the hunt.
Injured from the smoke.
And there is the injure from the smoke canister. Doesn't die, but it's a very, very tricky pickup to get. A rotate underneath. Somebody is going to hunt down the Deimos, but it's SDK that gets Pasha first. That smoke should maybe get live. No, it doesn't. They dip away, but it also doesn't kill Basetto. He sat lying and waiting. SDK driving forward 10 seconds, and
they're
Dan
all lined up
in the perfect place. 3 kills for Dan. Now with the fight back on, Dan slips away. They pick it up and move it, but here's the fight. There's one. Dan will lock it in. Round the corner. There's an ace. Dan!
What a way to lock off this first map. Dan with the ace to come through. Consulate throughout this tournament so far is very far down on their preference list as well. But now they're headed towards what is their favorite in terms of, you know, not banning it themselves, basically always being banned against. And the time they played it, they won it as well. The thing is, we've also seen RazaH play this, quite having the same impact anymore. Valkyrie now gone as well, and then the big old question comes through: is it going to be Izami again? I mean, you know, Izami's always useful, but maybe less so on Bank. And indeed, it is going to be Cade that is starting to put up some extra pressure towards the side, with, of course, servers being taken under control by Dan right now.
Oh, sprayed through. Dan was able to find an opportunity on towards SDK. It's not the worst one to lose. Just still looking at live with 3 smoke canisters. Still a C4 on Basetto, who is ripped, raring, and ready to go. Wants to loose it onto anything that comes close as the approach, but as the Bees reveal the player, he's going to be tough to kill. Dan gets one, but there is Flastry. Gets always from deep. Had the angle on the player going for the plant itself. There's still a C4. There is still this pressure they can apply. That will not catch them. It just rolled back. The C4 is shot from a pre-fire 7 seconds, and they've got to swing wide to stop it. There's Dan with the cover, but they're above. Perez, pressure on the hatch, ripping down castle barricades that cost them the worry and the watch. Perez all that's left, but bit of a shove into sight now.
Yeah, it definitely will be. But they already do have the second one. That's huge. Taking out Perez from Janitor. We stressed it so much in the last series. Janitor is a do-or-die position. If you hold that, you basically control this site. It is now gone. No one can play there anymore. And they have the opportunity to start pushing in. But you see Live, he's trying to retake. He's trying to play around the area here. He's going to get shot right through the ROU. And now the plan's going down right behind the desk. There's no one in a position to try and challenge this.
Well, as we just find Flastry alone in a post plant, he gets the down onto Always, but for his heroics on the previous map, soft, there's still Goyos, exactly, and they burn way longer than you want. Basetto, the Jaeger shotgun, was tempted with a fight, blinded out, he knows he's being caught, and there's pressure, there's a hunt, there's a bit of damage done from the top, and now just Flastry left alone. 20 seconds. At this point, all they have to do is try and charge at him and get the trade out, but they're going to hold off, go for the plant itself. The movement under the hatch is punished. 2 flawlesses in a row. A bit covered, and you know, he's concerned that maybe someone will step in, and the destruction on a castle wall is keeping things close. There's angles that are opening up, and it's actually a very dangerous position they are in. But there's Basetto, sprays on, gets traded out, always
bind him, blue.
To stack up, and yep, the rotate on blue. He's actually forced into it, but there's the crossfire again. Look at the time, though. Dan caught out, and this, a 2 versus 1 versus 1, but where's the last player? Nowhere close. Pasha cannot find it. RazaH, they get what? Here's the long watch. He wants to try and make his way in, but 40 seconds, it's still the chance at trading. Live suffers, just spraying and sort of pre-firing on towards these rotated angles that they keep being caught out on. It's almost like RazaH falling into old habits, being a little bit angsty. There is Dan getting the cover onto Flastry. Live cannot stop the planter. SDK does get Pasha, but it's a post-plant situation, and as Flastry swings around, they get that drop, but the watch on the windows. SDK's got a tough choice to make. One of them is probably have to go out the building. Now there's only one of them left. There is the Claymore. I mean, you know it's going to happen, but
yeah.
when you're in the 1 versus X.
About Basetto being around here, and he's about to go for a bit of a swing. And I'm just wondering, is there going to be flashbang still staying? Is someone going to be face checking this? Do they even know that he's around the corner? Well, there's the flashbang. Is he going to be able to fire? No, this Nitro Cell comes in before he gets traded out by Dan.
But Basetto was playing that job there to do exactly that, right? He gets rid of Shepard. They lose some of their hard breach. They obviously still have the options here from always, but they got to hope, you know, that whatever they need is not going to be too many hatches or anything. The plant attempted. Live, do something.
That's quite late, Live.
I don't even think it connected.
It
no,
did.
he just took the damage.
Yeah.
Always ran the numbers. Too late of a throw from Live and pulled off the plant in the 3 versus 4. But the rotate round up above, Pasha has a huge job here. 2 of them tentative, slow, one even going above and above and above. To put the pressure down maybe on the hatch itself or get the players. They're on the counter defuse though. Live, he was slow to act and react before, and now at this point they do get him. Dan pops up. There's a big fight on Beepers, but it is one out. They instantly go for it again. Dan controlling dirt and server. At this point, Perez can't get there in time. Virtus.pro pulled the wool over their eyes and put that diffuser on the ground.
Well done by Virtus.pro there. They realized that, hey, the smoke canister isn't...
Waiting, another smoke canister. You've got the C4s. That'll be the punctuation. Once you've got through the smokes to delay and stop. And with Shepard just calling it, they can also do this with an Echo. I don't know what happened to Dan, but SDK does get always. And suddenly, it's a 5 versus 3. They're worried about the hatch. Blastery gets a kill. Basetto is off again, right up into the firing line. And now it is just Shepard left. It has collapsed for Virtus.pro. And what really happened there?
I mean, the thing, the time for the attack to get their setup done, to start isolating angles, to start isolating players. And this Nukdo is the great question. Pasha drops down on top of him, finds the kill into Live. A lot of damage done to Joystick, but he's alive, most importantly. And now there's that roamer down below.
Until people start dying, so maybe I can go off and cause problems. Basetto might not know, but I think Pasha is lurking up the bottom of square. It's Perez. There's Pasha. And he's going to try and find his way up. How well watched is he? Because everybody's dying in the site. Basetto drove himself in. Joystick still on a sliver of health. Shepard tucked in a corner. There goes Joystick once again. Shepard alone against an onslaught. It is still a bit of an awkward approach. You can still have a bit of a lockdown here, and making the land is going to be the end of it. The impact, but there is an impact. Dan, head removed from the stair set, and the breach is a bit awkward, but I mean, it still gets them the kill. They have 2 trades they can try and make happen. There's not a chance to rebuild with Keybers as of yet. They have a single C4 to try and go on the deny and the coverage on the smoke. And yes, there is smokes in the pocket of SDK and the light wall as well, but it's Flashtree that gets always. There's Flashtree with his 3rd! And as Joystick goes down, Shepard once again, all that's left, and once again, not for long, RazaH, 3 in a row, and now within touching distance of V. The C4 and the chance to play it. So, at this point, I'm wondering, how will RazaH be able to make this happen? The pressure is entirely on them. They've got to drop. They've got to find a fight. At this point, the Echo Drone reading all of this can hit the stun on the players as soon as they get close. There it is. There's one. There's almost the second as they swing round, but Dan gets SDK. This Echo Drone will get shot out, but the player is as well. A flaw.
Close. He's going to try and dig himself in close behind the desk. He'll find a very important kill onto Dan. That is going to start things off. But still, the players that are playing around inside the Janitor, those are the key ones that you need to clear out, because otherwise, that plan's just not going to stick.
I mean, the Echo Drone will have to make its route through underneath the castle wall. It's a battle on the windows that always wins out. Flashtree drops and Perez trades them back in, but Army crawling his way to the plant spot with Perez keeping everything locked down in the cover. Basetto, he's going for the plant itself. Joystick is now the one in the 1 versus 4, but he can't find a route anywhere. 6-5. Not done yet. Really an immediate situation to get himself in. This is such a dangerous place for SDK to play, and always gets Flashtree, but there's the motion as the opponent goes for the jump out. It's a close swing. They've realized someone's out the building, so let's try and make things happen now before he loops his way back in. Virtus.pro, they tuck themselves in, close, waiting, expecting, but Live gets on the back of Joystick. There's the crossfire, Perez, but Dan Pops up, activates. Again, the kit so far away. It has to come down to this. A 3 versus 1 always. Fighting to end it now. Basetto making his way to the site as quickly as he can. They should be able to tuck on towards the B plant and just get it safely behind the chassis itself. But can he try and get one on the cover? One, whilst he can isolate a fight, it's 20 seconds. He can't even find a route in to the building itself. It's either side, red pings, red dots, you know where they are, but look at how they're setting themselves, spreading wider and wider. They impact EMP, the camera by themselves. 10 seconds of surprise, maybe a rotate. More pings will pop up in a second, but all the way on the top of white stairs, all the way back on the main reception, and all the way into OT again.
Come through as well. Flash tree dropped. Meaning Live alone on top. They're just basically strafing by Perez. Get away with his life there. Flash tree with the very first kill to Pasha. That's huge.
That's the Twitch gone and unanswered for as well. Obviously, the pressure's still coming across the top. They've got to keep moving. But now, on a site where a lot of it ends up boiling into a trade game, they have a body disadvantage. Will they try and sit and stop longer than they probably should? Will they get the read on the position of the players? They're trying to clear out Tellers, trying to clear out the archive side, which was so bitterly fought for. And Live, sitting, waiting patiently as 2 impacts and 2 keepers to try and play with here, but he's hoping he's gone undroned, and he has! Pops up, drops joystick, gets out of there. There's a bit of a grenade that's a bit close to the fire here of Basetto, who's already quite injured. There's always getting one through the open breach. Perez is gone. There's a second. Dan levels us right back up, 3 apiece, but not a lot of time here for them to try and formulate a landing. Shepard round on the back, still going for the clear, the power position, a rotate, up round blue, it's pinged though, they're aware, they're watching and waiting, there needs to be the stop on the plot, there is, the kid is cold, they can't get to it in time, RazaH from 5 to 1. They just need to stick one more to keep the dreams alive for now, and well, joystick, he's just caught sprinting in the middle of open. Habana sees a struggling Twitch drone and executes it. 30 seconds. Now, flashes on. The chance at a plant. There's still a canister in the pocket, and there's one locked off SDK, but Flashtree gets past it. But it's a post plant. The second too late, and Perez again. Triple kill, burning his way through for 4. We are going to map 3. Going to go on. I mean, the fact that the MVP, Dan, was on the team that could not pull it together. 2-5-1 attacking halves. This late? This hour?
At this hour of the day?
This hour? But it does set things up. Imagine, for a second, the list of teams, the setup of what we potentially have. Hey, Hap. You ready for another OT?
Ooh, am I ready for another OT? I mean, you know, it's just my first day here, so I'm still full of energy to go through all this.
This is like, okay, so
I have it at like a 5-day marathon under my legs.
I have 3 and 7-4, and, well, they were the games, really, if you're looking at how it goes, but it's starting to go here. There's the first. Dan gets Perez. The blinds come through Live. Maybe trying to stick some of the support, but it's the run-out swing, and there's a trade, but perfect place there for Dan to be. Gets his second of the round, drops the kit, and all of that utility. The Candela's being thrown, the Bs wasted because they had to recollect it. That gets open, that gets shut right down.
Oh, there's 2.
And 2 locks in, leaving just Basetto alone. A minute 30.
Grenades being tossed in. It's going to be opening up the window for Basetto. And oh no, didn't open up the window. It's just going to have to start pushing through. It was actually to take care of the frost mats. Perez will find Dan. Another kill coming in on the back of it. SCK is going to find a double from the window. A 5v2 situation just within the flash of a pan to come through.
On towards the wall itself. They have the vertical. They're trying to just get the options and the angles on towards it. And you can see that Virtus.pro, the remaining players, are seeing if they can lean in somewhere and get a kill and a take. The Blitz makes their presence known, but it's a crossfire from every which way. But where? Flawless round. Some Bs popped into position. Dan being droned out, but he hasn't been forced off as of yet. He's playing that narrow angle. And
Ooh, 1 HP.
1 HP. Basetto massively hurt. There's the cross, and there's suddenly 2. Basetto and SDK, but always steps up, drops right back down. Second kill from the sort of stairs position. There's a reveal of the library control. 50 seconds, though, and they have time to try and reformula.
It does keep ticking, though. It definitely doesn't stop. And the 3 members of Virtus.pro finding themselves in pretty decent positions out here. Shepard especially can see if they start dropping through. They block off the side of the pantry. However, the bees are stopping Shepard's current position, forcing him to rotate around, trying to get a vertical angle on him, but just miss his feet by a couple of inches. And now Basetto, also 1 HP, is carrying that kit. Literally anything touches him, he is dead. He needs to be very sure of when he's going to be pushing in. And this smoke just doesn't do the job, but Perez does.
10 seconds and a swing round, but it's traded back out. Now Pasha, he's able to get 1. Gifted and no kit. Perez, he's technically in a 1 versus 1. He doesn't have the time to get the player off. He's just got to stick it, and Pasha should be able to sweep this up. They pull themselves off. Coming from a mile off and just prepared for it.
That's the mirror window, right? It's just looking through. That's exactly what's going to happen. A beautiful shot from Always.
Through with a netted sort of positive result. In fact, SDK got rid of the cross mats from underneath. They don't quite have the same swing capabilities, but if they hear that and react to it, well, they can't. There is Dan getting 1 more for his tally. Live gets the kill. Flastry suffers on the swing in and gets dropped. And now, well, they just knew everything that was happening on this hold. The calls come through. SDK is alone, and statistics. They could not win on the other side, and here, probably not going to win either. Suddenly 2.
No HP, though.
No HP, no kit, 40 seconds, and goo mines in pocket as well, and one of those will be, I think, the end of the round.
Yeah, one of them will be enough to shut down SDK. They don't even need to take the fight. They just need to basically flood everything with goo mines instead. Dan will find the kill, however. Virtus.pro find themselves.
It's, you know, you can get the camera on the other side. It's an awkward one to try and get yourself into position to get rid of. And now here, the wall isn't going to be the biggest danger. They have the pings on the player, and suddenly Joystick executed there, executing on the side itself over the top. SDK and Perez are able to find 1 apiece, but look at what's been taken out of some safety. But this, they're trying to draw some attention as Basetto rotates his way underneath. I think he wants to try and come up Fireplace and maybe get themselves in. No, he's going back towards the windows on the opposite end. It's a risk, but they get Dan. Live keeps on pushing through the cover of the smoke, and now leaves them with some vertical control, hoping they can find a plant. Basetto gets Shepard, and the site is currently theirs. And, well, there's a retake from Always, but there's no blood behind
that manner. With 1:30 on the clock. Not a lot that they've accomplished so far on the side of RazaH Company. Just going to go for the jump in. I mean, there's no one right behind the shield. They can just swing in 1 and go for the second. No! Shut down. And it's actually 2 for the price of 1. 3 for the price of 1 as Virtus.pro find themselves in the big advantage here.
A 2 versus 3, though, and they're trying to put the fight back up towards Dan, but he is just proving so problematic. There goes the hop-in player from Library. Dan still holding in the same position he had at the start of the round, and he's going to end it there as well. Dan, once again in this series, in this tournament. But there's the freeze, and that'll chill things out for if he wants to the rest of the round, unless some pressure forces him off this angle. He's ready to rip and go again in just a second, but Always finally gets the end of Flastry, but there's 20 seconds to make this land here. They've picked themselves up, rotated around towards blue. There's the Capitao bolt that'll force the player further and further away. He's on such a narrow angle, and yet somehow fights his way out of it. Hops up 7 seconds, but the plant is being confirmed. 3 versus 3, dropped and planted. With only Perez still standing, he cannot find a route round and starts to explode. All of the RazaH players have been able to escape, and Perez gets revenge for what was almost done to him before. He drops it back on them tenfold. They make their way inside of Library. Great But 30 seconds, how can you turn this into a plant?
It's not just that, but just look at where the RazaH company players are as well. They're finding themselves in kitchen, they're finding themselves in dining, they're below, they're on the side itself. They have completely no control of any of the horizontal kind of level out here. And his live just quickly checking the blue stairs. Well, that Gumine is going to be giving away the kind of game that comes through as Dan comes in from the rear, inside the kitchen, finds one. 10 seconds left, OME. They need to get a plan down. They don't have Pantry under control. This should be it.
Well, that's it. They're going for the smoke cover, but there's the drop on the hatch and the drop of the player. Bracetto's inside, fighting back and forth, but it's a 3 versus 1. Here's the 3-2-1 go. Here's the action, and it's an easy first pickup, I say, as it went on a lot longer than it should have, but live gets Dan. Wants to get whoever is next on the fight, but as bullets spray over the top, they know the player's surrounded, but what do they have to force them out?
About to be swung, I believe, by a player that just jumped in from the window. Pasha comes in, finds a huge kill. Suddenly they're going to be all over the site. However, Bracetto still around, finds his first, knows about the second one. Is going to be able to get some shots down, but Joystick kind of dodges right out of the way as he leans back in with the AK and finds the kill before he's almost taken down himself.
10 seconds, and they've got to try and stick a plant without vertical, and Flastery now means without Joystick as well. Always, he can't even get through the rotate in the blind as he baits out the motion, leaving Shepard alone. But with 1 second, another RazaH from Shepard. They haven't been able to net the kill. Another smoke canister, and they just think, screw it. Huge amount of damage done to Dan, breathing it all in because there was a shield, and Perez finds always Flastery. He's stuck here, but so are they, and they can't find a way past it. Pasha drives through the heart, but Flastery fights his way out, and Joystick trades onto SDK. 20 seconds. Warden is still in red, still causing problems, and Dan finally stops them. But they've got to get the kit. They've got to get it back to site, and Bracetto ready, waiting, and willing to drop it again. 5 seconds. This point, Live needs to keep a distance, but he doesn't care for it. He wants the kills.
A huge...
The discs, or maybe... No, because it was an ADS that caught it.
Yeah, indeed. It's like if it goes off, but it was probably...
Whoa, the run out! Perez out the window. Joystick out of the round. Your Capitao is gone. Those power positions on rafters and top fireplace are gone. Live gets always the track stingers. The control on the back is gone.
Right now, and there was no opportunity for Virtus.pro to try and play in the refrags. Things are slowly starting to fall apart as Perez ascends from the staircase, takes himself with yet another kill. It is Pasha that will find him from above, but he will give away his position as a result of it. They know where he is. They're not going to challenge him. They're going to let him be. And then the question is, where is Shepard? The one other member that is around as Pasha is looking to make a push happen, being shot from multiple directions. He is on no HP left. Shepard, the last man standing with 7 seconds, is going to find nothing for his efforts. And RazaH company, he's down on like 1 HP. That's a player all the way in the back of blue that's providing some cover, as always is hunting up top.
He didn't even know where it was coming from in 30 seconds. Dan goes down. That huge player we talked about is caught, but Pasha steps back in, gets Bracetto. Look underneath though, there's a chance at pressure. Live with a C4 wants to let loose up through the hatch. If they go for the plant on the chassis, there's the transition across. There is a lineup, they're trying to find it, they're waiting, but there it is! The C4 in 6 seconds! SDK and Live holding down, the spray doesn't connect. They're looking for a single engagement. The plant being secured by Dan. He's able to just make it stick. 3 versus 1, and we are going to overtime. Would you have it any other way? But it holds you up and scratch damage, but it's not netting anything for the attackers. That will no! SDK went on an adventure. And he punishes Pasha for it, goes down, and probably will be confirmed, but that's 30 seconds of game we've just watched.
I mean, this is SDK, right? He's been wasting time the entire series long. It's his job just to be there, waste that time, got a kill for his efforts. Let's be honest, he shouldn't have been allowed to get in the very first place. But now, Virtus.pro reconsidering themselves. They are going to be starting to put themselves more towards the side, trying to get that plan down in any second now. Is there going to be any pressure from below? I don't think there currently is. No, 1 up above, 3 down on the horizontal levels. So as Joystick goes down, it's another huge kill to come through. RazaH Company might find themselves here on 7.
The timer has entered that ominous pulse of the final throws. The 3 VP players, they're able to at least get 1, the entry, and they're pre-firing on the second. Shepard has the cover, but the C4 is shot out. Has to get the cover, cannot find the connection, cannot find the follow-through. The plant is being danced around. They didn't get the drop. They can't get it, Virtus.pro. Way in, the reveal of the Bs, and the player will get tucked around, but well, as the flashes come through, there's got to be something on the back of it, and the player in the bathroom. That's going to be the first engagement. Perez wins it out, and there's the run out, and it gets Flash 3 Joystick. But there's Perez doubling down, and SDK pushing aggressively up to the wall. There's 1 more for Perez. He has been so crucial for this roster to fight their way to this situation, and he's shut out at the end of a triple kill. There's a second down. There is 3. But it is live. We do not stop. It does not end. As we fall into our final minute, regardless of what happens here outside of a plant, but we haven't really seen one of those in a while. Basetto gets the first on towards Joystick, and that was on the gaming window. They have support. They have friends, and they have a structure that Virtus.pro cannot currently find a way to break. 30 seconds. And there's a bit of a rotate here. I said before, they play this wide and loose game. And Dan, how expecting is he of this play? How aware?
He knows.
Pretty aware as he's ready for the pressure to come round. It doesn't seem like, well, Perez was as clued in, but 13 seconds. You have to execute. You have to go. And there's live. He's going in his own manner. Flash 3 gets 1 more. Dan screaming for the kit, but he's crossed out. RazaH against all odds. The lowest seed. The LCQ. The 5 players who have never been at Six Invitational before. Live. SDK, Basetto, Perez, Flash 3 are confirmed top 6. I'm a bit beyond words, but what a showing. This late on especially, it is 11:15 at night. Players have done the full run. RazaH, obviously the second series of the day. Here's the stats of that last map. Dan breaking 20 kills, but just did not have enough in the end of it again. And at the same time, you look at the split on the other side, and I mean,
and it's so close to the best of 3 record as well. 5 kills away. That is insane.
And it wasn't enough. Plus 23, and you know they still